Welcome to the Curry Gumbo Podcast with Nicole and Ashley, and today we have another 90s movie review. Stay tuned. It's Friday, 1995. Ice Cube. Can we go to Ice Cube production? I know he wrote it. Probably
He
not produced
did?
it. He did. Did you ever watch Straight Outta Compton?
Oh, yeah, I remember Friday being a part of the conversation.
And he was like on his computer, and he was like, "I'm working on this movie." He was like, "It's called Friday."
Adorable.
Director is F. Gary Gray.
Mm-hmm.
Who? This is giving me Showtime. Screenplay: Ice Cube and DJ Pooh. I don't know DJ Pooh.
Ain't DJ Pooh the one who gets knocked the fuck out? Yeah, DJ Pooh get knocked the fuck out.
In the movie?
Yeah, he's the one who
The
plays
light skinned dude?
the one who's like, that was my mama chain, Red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering. That's one of my questions. What Debo had with Red, because Debo was just picking on Red the whole movie.
Easy target.
I guess.
Easy mark.
I guess backing up a bit. What is your relationship with this movie, with Friday? Do you love it, hate it, seen it a million times?
I've
When
seen
you
it a
first
million
see it?
times. It's not a film that I go back and watch over and over again. Like, there are times where I get into a Love Jones
Oh, but those are
cycle
romantic
and I
comedies,
just
yeah.
need to watch it. Well, what do I do? I mean, I think the first Bad Boys, like, I might go back and watch that. That's a bit of a buddy comedy, you know. It's not one that I go back and watch now. I think the fight scene really triggers me in a way that makes me uncomfortable at this
At the
age.
end, at the end,
Yeah, at this age, in this place that I'm in my life,
yeah.
but I remember loving the movie. I remember feeling like I think it was the first movie that I saw that I felt like really connected to.
Really?
I I think so, because that I was like, I'm a fan of this movie. When I was
Hmm.
watching Boomerang, I didn't see Boomerang in theaters, but I did watch it like maybe on HBO or something like that. And I remember knowing that I was too young to watch it. I didn't feel that way with Friday. I probably was too young to watch it,
Yes, you were.
but I felt like, I don't know, like I just felt like, man, I really like this movie. And I got maybe there are some jokes that I still didn't get, but
Mm-mm.
I just remember really liking it. It didn't feel above me. And when I say above me, I mean like older. Like, there wasn't a lot of sexual content.
Mm-mm.
So when I'm watching something like I said, Boomerang, I'm not like, oh my gosh, I have to turn my face away because they're doing
Oh,
this
yeah.
and I'm too young to watch this. That wasn't the case with Friday.
I don't remember the first time I saw this movie. I just feel like Friday has always been around. It's like
Yeah.
one of those movies where like everybody has seen it. I don't know when. I'm pretty sure it was not in theaters. I don't think no one was taking me to go see Friday.
Friday
But
was a movie to me that even when I was in high school, like, Friday was a part of the litmus test for if something was funny. Is it funnier than Friday? Is it funny
yeah,
as Friday? Like, Friday was just the shit. Like, it. It's a really big part of I don't think there was anything as funny that came out around that time.
This definitely was a, I'm trying to think of other, like, adult comedies in the mid-90s. The only thing I remember is "Don't Be a Menace While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood,"
Yeah.
and I know I did see that in theaters, and I was definitely too young.
Yeah.
Somebody's auntie, I think, took me and a couple other kids to go see it. I was like, "Ooh, okay." But, I can't think of any other, like,
So I
adult
mean,
comedy.
there's like Sister Act, which still feels like
That's like a
kind of
kid,
exactly. And I
'cause
mean,
this
all but also not really.
but when I say adult, Friday is rated R. I think Sister Act is
Yes.
still, like, PG-13, so when I say I'm talking
Yeah.
about a rated R film, comedy
There
film.
see I'm looking at a list now. Like so there's this is just from the 90s. So there's Boys in the Hood, Don't Be a Menace to South Central
Okay.
While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood, Menace to Society, Poetic Justice, Love Jones, Waiting to Exhale, Jason's Lyrics, Sister Act 2. You got Major Pain, Blue Streak, Candyman, Higher Learning, The Nutty Professor, Dead
Hate Higher Learning.
Presidents. I love Higher Learning. Tales from the Hood, Vampire in Brooklyn, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, The Preacher's Wife. I think what it is with all of these films, they're what Friday, the casting and the sets, it felt very regular to me. It felt like I could
Yes,
fit in. I couldn't, I was too young for Higher Learning. I wasn't in college yet. I didn't feel like I know these people, with Waiting to Exhale, it's too
that's too
grown for
old,
me.
yeah.
Major Pain, I'm not in the military, not trying to be in the military. I don't go to Catholic school, so I don't know nothing about Sister Act. I know
Now, I
Craig.
love Sister Act. Sister Act was my movie.
I'm sure it's great, but I haven't seen. I think I've seen the second one. I don't think I've seen the first one, and I'm a really big fan of Whoopi Goldberg. But it's not Friday. Feels homey to me, and I think that's another reason why I connect with it so much.
Listening to all the movies you named and just thinking of the true comedies, um, Nutty Professor, that was great, but that was different. And then all, like, the Boys in the Hood type movies, those were kinda Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, those were still kind of, what do you call it? Violent?
Dramedies, not
Yes.
even drama, not just drama, straight drama.
It's like at least Friday was a little bit of breath of fresh air where it's like you're not tense through the whole movie.
Yeah, I'm not. Even though violence is very present,
Yes. But it's
very
still
present. Yeah. There's in none of these movies can you see yourself fitting in. You don't see yourself fitting in and set it off. You're not about to rob a bank. You
no.
know what I'm saying? Like above the rim, you ain't playing basketball. Booty call, you wasn't out here at that age trying to fuck.
Right.
Baps, you're not trying to go
Be in a
fucking
music
scam
video in LA.
scam a old white man. Class act. We wasn't in college at the time. South Central. These was not our problems. Boomerang.
Now
We
the
not
house
that old.
party, I guess there's a difference between the house party, those are it's more early 90s, but house party if you go 1, 2, and 3, we're getting close to the mid 90s, right? By the
I
time House
believe
Party
so,
3
yeah.
comes out. Those are still, like, R-rated comedies, but Friday just kinda still feels different.
There's more of a grunge aspect to Friday. Like
Yes.
I don't see Kid and Play on the same block as them.
No.
I like it's just a little there's still something a bit hokey about Kid and Play, playful
Mhm.
about Kid and
Yes.
Play. I don't like were there drive-bys in in the Kid and Play movies? Probably not, but
Well, they
I
was running from their own bullies, especially in the first one. They was running.
so I do like the conversation around masculinity, bullying, maintaining composure, feigning confidence in front of bullies. I really like the conversation that Friday is having about that, because as cool as Ice Cube is, as cool as Craig is, and as confident as he seems, like he's still very much afraid of Debo. And you don't feel, it's not overpowering, but it's just like we accept that this cool guy is just really afraid of
But
this guy.
and also Craig kind of represents, I don't want to say he was like a regular guy, but like he wasn't a gangster.
Yes.
He didn't even smoke weed, cuz isn't that what when
Yeah, that
Smokey
was
was
his.
trying to get him to
Yeah.
smoke, he was like he wasn't really he didn't really smoke. He had a job until he got fired. It's like he had two parents in the house
Mhm.
with his, like, he was just regular guy living in the
Mhm.
hood, just living everyday life. So I think that was good to see. And he wasn't like a nerd or anything. He was
Yeah.
just regular. It
Yeah.
was just Craig. Like he knew everybody in the neighborhood. You saw the characters. Oh, that's Debo. Stay away from him. Smokey, he crazy, but he cool. Like there's the girls down the street that he like. So it was like a regular neighborhood
Yeah.
story.
Buddy comedy. I think that it's very much like this is Craig's story. I think everything centers
Mhm.
around Craig. But Smokey kind of bookends the film. Like he's the first
Mhm.
voice you hear, he's the last voice that you hear. So I
Mhm.
think it's also the film's way of saying like Smokey is very important to this film. And I think also, I think before this, um, what's his name?
Tucker.
Chris Tucker has a thriving stand-up career. But if you ain't going to these clubs, you don't know who Chris Tucker
I didn't
is.
know who
And,
Chris
and
Tucker
it
was.
is and this just, I mean, this is like Tiffany Haddish and Girls Trip, in my opinion. Like what this movie does for him. And I'm not like a journalist. I can't speak to celebrity culture in a way that is like from an expert point of view, but I just remember after this, then we get the Rush Hour stuff, then he's in some other cop films, and then he like disappears for a little bit, and then he comes back in some like Oscar buzz films. But Chris Tucker is like cemented as comedic royalty. Like everyone knows that Chris Tucker is really funny. And I think that that happens after Friday. As far
Definitely.
as like him being on a national scale, but I'm sure in LA, because I remember watching an interview that Jamie Foxx did with Oprah, and he said, there was a time where I started feeling myself, and I'm going to the clubs, I'm doing stand up, but this is after Jamie Foxx is like a star. And so he was like, the crowd was like, kind of dead. And then he left, and he was saying the crowd, like he can hear the crowd is just, there's an uproar. And he's like, well, who is that? Because I just got off the stage. So what's what's going on? Like, who's on the stage? And it was Chris Tucker, you know? But I think this is before Friday, or it's close to it. But the point I'm trying to make is like, I wasn't in the club. There's
Oh
no
no.
internet, like at this point. Like there's no social media. I have no access to Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker has no access to me. But after this, is like Chris Tucker is a household name, at least in black households.
Yeah, I'm looking up Chris Tucker, and it says he was on Def Comedy Jam around like 92. He was frequent performer on there. But 92, I'm not watching Def Comedy Jam. And
Not me in 92. No.
no. And his very first movie was technically House Party 3, but then um what's this, Friday definitely came out in 95. House Party 3 was 94. So then Friday is 95. And then after that, then he gets all these other movies after Friday. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
go ahead.
don't understand why the voiceover isn't continued through the film. I don't understand the point of it at all. Like, so when we get to Craig, we're in his house. He's saying, for most people, Friday is just the day before the weekend. But after this Friday, things will never be the same on this block. And I'm like, I forgot that there was a voiceover. And then as I'm watching, I'm like, what is the point of the voiceover? I don't get it. Like, for what?
Yeah, I don't forgot there was until you just mentioned it.
Like, we didn't need it. We didn't need
Mm-mm.
it. Like in Sex in the City, there's a voiceover, and the voiceover has its own like comedic voice. The voiceover is um like helping with transitioning the story. In Arrested Development, it's the same thing. The voiceover is funny. Here I'm like, the voiceover was funny when Debo kind of forces Smokey to rob Stanley's house, and the voiceover of Craig is saying, now something tell me Smokey didn't want to go. And I'm like, this is funny because we can clearly he doesn't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Tucker is such a wonderful physical comedian that he's giving all these gestures as if he doesn't want to go. So we know he don't want to go. So that, the voiceover in that moment is kind of adding to the humor there. But it's the only time we get it, and I'm like, it's the only other time we get it. And I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah, I didn't even realize. I just clearly missed this voiceover. I guess we start off typical regular day, Friday. He's in the house. Everyone's getting ready. Mama's getting ready for work. Daddy's getting ready for work. Craig trying to get a bowl of cereal. He get the biggest bowl he can find in the house, pouring all of the cereal, the whole box of cereal,
Mm-mm.
and goes in the fridge and only got barely a drop of milk. And he was about to throw it away. And his daddy was like, you better put some water in that. Go put some water in that bowl. Don't be wasting my cereal.
When I heard that, I remember hearing that when I was younger, and I just thought
Yep.
that that was abusive. Like, no one ever told me to do that because there was always just like milk in the house if there was cereal. But when I heard Craig's father say that, I'm like, do they want to kill him? Do they really just not care about him? How dare they ask him to put water? Like, that to me is like so low. Like, it's one of those things, it's a symbol of just extreme poverty. And it's like, y'all ain't got it. Like, y'all, come on. Water in cereal?
I
That's
would
just one
never
of
do
those
that.
things that, oh, Jesus.
I have no problem eating dry cereal. I'll just
I
eat
have
the
no problem
cereal
eating dry
dry.
cereal. One thing that a friend of mine told me that I was just like, girl, we got to cut our addiction to dairy. She was like, one time, like, I have used heavy whipping cream in
Oh
cereal
heck
because I didn't
no.
have milk. I said, girl, you did what?
No, it's too thick.
But so that's the only, like, it has to be milk. It has to be my level of milk. Please don't give me skim milk.
Oh no, I
Cause
can do.
what the hell? But people who are raised on skim milk, they have 2% or whole milk, and they be like, this is butter. What am I eating?
Exactly.
Anyway, child, I could not. And also, That big ass bowl of cereal. But you know what? I have had times where I've had a big bowl of cereal and then I've went back and got another. I
Bowl of
refilled the bowl.
cereal.
I was like, Ashley, you might as well. Nah, but that big ass mixing bowl ain't no. That's too much.
That was the whole box. I ain't mad at that. You're not
Yeah,
gonna throw away a
I ain't
whole
never.
box of
That's
cereal.
I ain't never. No, no, no.
Like, if you want milk that bad, you better walk your butt to the store and get the milk yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you
There's a
grown.
lot of stuff in here that's done just for the joke. That's like this isn't realistic. Like the mom coming in and making
Breakfast for herself.
pancakes, the breakfast for herself. I'm like, yeah, because at a certain point when your kids is grown, it's like I'm
They
not about to be
was.
making. I'm not about to make breakfast for y'all. I don't know what y'all got going on. I'm making breakfast for myself. Cool, but you making pancakes, eggs, bacon, some leftover pork chops, ma'am. You're not eating all of that. You're not eating all of that before work.
I know, right?
You're gonna be on the toilet just like your husband. Cut it out.
I like when the pops was like, every time I'm in the kitchen, you in the kitchen. Why is that?
I don't understand why he was eating grapes early in the morning like that. Cause that's what probably made him go to the bathroom.
Listen, you gotta be regular.
Mm-mm.
What else do we see in this morning? Do we see Regina King getting ready? She's leaving, right? She's
She's leaving. She has her hair in a nice little. It looked like it's supposed to be wrapped, but when she's sleeping on her hand
oh
because she
yes.
doesn't want to mess up her hair. And I was like, "Girl, you can wrap that." But I guess because her it was glued in, she
Mm-hmm.
won't wrap it up. But
Yeah, because she had to ask her mom for some glue.
because her track was slipping, the child done slipped all the way off. But my thing is, you done did all of that only to go get some braids. So you
Yeah.
mean to tell me you gonna take that glue? I know some of that glue got on. You got glue in your hair, but now you just about to braid your hair. You ain't gonna wash your hair before you put the braids in. Okay, girl.
We also see Craig's dysfunctional relationship with Joy, played by Paula J. Parker. She was like the girlfriend from hell.
It wasn't until I got much older that I saw that she had a man in the bed when she called him.
I didn't see that.
She has a whole man in the bed when she was like, "Who you go to the show with last night? You ain't got to lie,
Lie,
Craig."
Craig. You
There is
ain't got
a
to
whole
lie.
man in the bed with her who is can clearly hear this conversation. I'm guessing he's asleep, but still, even if he wasn't, she would probably still be having this conversation with him because she don't give a fuck. She like,
Mm-mm.
look, I got you in this bed, but I also got Craig at his parents' house. Both of y'all my niggas, and y'all gonna be all right. But she is constantly assuming that Craig is cheating on her, probably because she cheated
Cause
on
she the
him.
one cheating, that's why. But Craig, you can tell he don't even like her. I don't even know why he don't break up with her. Cause he done with the relationship mentally, and his mama don't like her. So,
Nobody likes her.
we find out Craig gets fired on his day off,
So
which is just hilarious.
somebody said that Ezel running with the boxes suggests that
That's
he's the one who stole the
yes.
boxes.
Because the thing is, they said Craig, they got him. Apparently, they allegedly got him on camera stealing boxes. But Craig was like, "Why would I do that?" But he can't do nothing because they saying they got him on camera. But you're right, Ezel. It was probably Ezel.
And y'all can't tell Ezel from Craig.
It depends on who he working for.
Exactly. But even just the build, like
Because
one
Ezel is
Ezel
small.
is clearly shorter, clearly skinnier.
But
And
it's just a black man. If
yeah,
he
you right.
only wanted they there's so many black men working in where he work at.
Cause
They
when I
saw a
saw this,
black
I was
man.
like, I be forgetting that Ice Cube is thick. Ice Cube thick as hell. And that was another reason why I was like, how the hell y'all gonna be making fun of this girl who trying to get with Smokey when Ice Cube sitting up here thick as I don't know what, but we'll get
Mhm.
to that, I guess.
It's always a double standard.
Mm-hmm.
Smokey comes over. Smokey comes over early to try to tell Craig a story. Ain't that what he came over early for?
Yes, tell them the story about what happened to Red.
Oh yeah, Red. Yes. How and we see throughout the whole movie. I'm like, why is Debo picking on Red so much? What did Red do? Red got beat up.
Red just
Red
won't fight back.
got his train
Bikes.
snatched,
Yep.
bike stolen. It's like, damn.
I just wanted somebody to shoot Debo and get it over with. Stab the nigga. We don't need him.
Mm-mm.
Like, are we past the point of rehabilitation?
What else? I just feel like this movie is just a lot of just watching it, just seeing all these different references that we still that are still iconic today. And people
Yeah.
still it's kind of like a cultural blueprint.
Yeah. I think what I also liked about the film is that there's a balance of individual development, buddy development, but also
Mhm.
the the people who populate the block. We really get to know these people, not intimately, but we know enough. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and they make the movie. I think
Mhm.
that's what's the difference between this and House Party. That's what's different between, like,
Yeah, it's like all the this could be a story of just the characters on the neighborhood. I mean, a story mean like a book of just
yeah.
characters in the neighborhood with the Miss Parkers, with the Felicias, with the Debo, the
Hmm.
Smokies, the who's Felicia's sister? What was her name?
Debbie.
Debbie, and even Joy and Regina King's character. It's just the characters make up the whole movie pretty much.
Yeah.
Even Ezel just I don't know
Hmm.
what he doing the whole day, but just yeah, it's just I don't want to say just like surviving. Oh well, you got Smokey. He supposed to be selling weed, but he's smoking the weed instead of selling it. So now he owe money and he trying to get money to Big Worm. But how he gonna get money to Big Worm when he's smoking all the weed he's supposed to be selling? And somehow he get Craig involved in it. And so that's the issue. Like half the movie they trying to get $400.
Just two.
Oh yeah, $200.
Just two. And that's the problem, because I'm like, God dang. Y'all can't collectively get this nigga $200. He say his life is in danger. But child, what I think, so Craig and Smokey are in a place, they out of high school. They out of high
Mhm.
school. Probably been out of high school for
Couple
maybe
years.
like couple of years.
Mhm.
These kids, they have not hit 30. I don't think they 25. But we out of high school for some time, for a little bit.
Mhm.
We ain't in college because we don't hear anything about college.
Nope.
We are in, careers that are not taking us into. These ain't even careers, these just jobs.
Mhm.
Craig not about to work at this warehouse forever. He shouldn't work at the warehouse forever. Or he more than likely won't. He's not hurt about like losing his job. This isn't what he wants to do. forever, you know? Um, so I'm like, why is it so important for Smokey to get this man to smoke? And I think it's part of it is because you know you ain't got no business smoking that man weed because
Mhm.
you know he's dangerous. You smoking big worm weed like big worm won't kill your ass. A part of me feels like you want somebody else to also be guilty with you.
Yes.
And also, you want somebody else to engage in the type of stuff you engage in so you won't feel as lonely. Can you imagine if Craig started oh, I'm gonna take some classes down at UCLA. I'm now I got an internship with the Lakers. Like I'm actually into sports medicine now. Do you really think that Craig will be hanging out with Smokey like that?
No.
Probably not, because he wouldn't have the time.
Mm-mm.
So I think that a part of Smokey's desire to get Craig to smoke with him is just a way to maintain the closeness,
Yes.
be
That is
involved
true.
in the shit that I'm doing.
Because after high school, it is kind of like a weird time when
Yeah.
everyone's going in different directions. And you have the friends that go to college or don't go to college, that stay in the hometown or that leave or that get different jobs. And so you don't see them every day like when you're in school. And so, yeah, I can see Smokey being like, I need to keep my friend.
Hmm.
So let me try to, how can I keep my friend?
Yeah.
Getting involved in some ratchet activity like what I'm doing.
And the only reason I say that is because when Big Worm came in that damn ice cream truck, stealing them kids' money, that little baby wanted some hot chili Fritos, and you done stole that little baby $5. We got Megan Good in a sideways cap, looking adorable. She's a child. And, you know, Big Worm's like, Smokey, count out my money or give me where my weed at. Smokey is like, well, let me tell you, Craig lost his job, and you know how we do. We started smoking, getting fucked up. Like, why would you even say that shit? Like, why would you say that? You could have been like, man, I got robbed. You could have been like, man,
Mm-hmm.
I smoked it up. You could have said,
Now he can't
man,
admit to
like
that.
Debo fucked over. You know what I'm saying? There are tons of people that you could have thrown under the bus. You decide to throw me under the bus. You decide to throw Craig under the bus. And that says to me he wants Craig around. He don't want to lose Craig.
Mm-hmm.
So Craig gotta be involved in the fuck shit that I'm involved in too. You know? I would have beat Smokey ass if he got me involved. Cause a part of me is just wondering, they have to be really close friends for this shit. Because why in the hell is Craig just I don't know.
Well, maybe not even close, but just with your childhood friends, people who are just assuming they've known each other since like say elementary school. It's like it's hard to kind of like even if you're not that close, you still have a affinity for them because it's like man, we've known each other since elementary school. We
Yeah.
go way back.
I'm not saying you gotta leave him out to dry, because if it's just hey man, that's on you. Hey, figure that shit out. Bye. Well, one, he can't do that, right? Because Big Worm is like, I'm coming back. I'm killing you, Smokey, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
killing Craig, and that's all Big Worm knows. You know, there's no way for him to kind of get in contact with Big Worm to kind of set things straight. But I don't know.
But the other dilemma is so they got Big Worm and Debo after these after well Debo's after everybody. Debo is the neighborhood, call him a neighborhood bully, stealing bikes, stealing chains, stealing money. Like they know when Debo comes around, they gotta hide the change, hide the cash,
How old do you think
hide the
Debo is?
weed. He seems a little bit older, but not by that much.
Debo feels like an orphan to me.
Yeah.
Cause where's Debo's parents? Who does Debo live with?
Mm-hmm.
He's just there. Like, and Debo is sad to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. Like Debo is just like he's a bully because he don't have nothing.
Like most bullies.
Yeah, like he has nothing, so he got to take it. He got to, he he feigns friendship long enough to get what he needs and then he's out. Is there anything redeeming about Debo?
I mean, not really. There's nothing redeeming about him. Like he not only is he a bully, but then we find out that he's hitting on Felicia. And so that makes him even worse.
He's hitting on Felicia who has a drug addiction issue.
Mm-hmm.
Debo,
And
other
they're
than
supposed to be together. That's the other thing. So he's
they
not just
supposed to
hitting
be
on him.
together, you can't you got to get with and you got to get with somebody who's an addict. You couldn't get no other girl.
They must connect on something. They connected over something.
They connect on something because she's not fully present in order to be with him. I think that they're all they can get.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be with Felicia? But when they hear gunshots and Craig's sister is like going to Smokey's mom, be like, "Hey, you seen Craig and Smokey? Like, anybody seen Craig and Smokey?" And she's like, "Debo, you seen Craig and Smokey?" He was like, "I seen him earlier." That was a moment where I was like, somebody who just wants to create havoc, like, doesn't need to say anything. He'd be like, I don't give a fuck you. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he answers the question in a way that makes me think you could be a valuable part of this community that we have here, but because you ain't got shit, you have to interact with people where like violence is the only answer. Like it's as like violence is the only way he can get anything.
The women aren't afraid of Debo because when Felicia's sister, she was like, Debo put his hands, you don't put your hands on my sister, don't do it again. Like
Mhm.
she has no problem. As small as Neil Long is and as big as Debo is, she wasn't scared to say what she had to say. And the same thing with Craig's sister. It's
I
like
kind of
she
feel like that was dangerous and that put everybody in a really uncomfortable position.
true.
My thing is somebody just stabbed this nigga. Like, girl, if you because everybody everybody is afraid of him. Everybody is afraid of him. And you know that this is going to get to a physical place. So you want us to just watch you get your ass beat? Your sister ain't gonna stop fucking with him. He ain't gonna stop putting his hands on your sister. But what do you do with that? And I
Yeah.
know it's horrible, but that's why I'm like, y'all, plant some drugs on this nigga and call the cops. Like, stop this fool. Let Craig keep that gun and shoot him. Like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Just a rock and a hard place is where we at. In betwixt the two. Cause I don't know what, cause you can't avoid him.
No.
He's just there. And it's only Debbie is afraid of him. She's I'm sorry, only Debbie is the one who's not afraid of him. Felicia afraid of him.
Mm-hmm.
The girl who doing uh Dana hair is afraid of him. Like everybody's backing up.
Yeah.
But also, you can't fight this man, Debbie. Why you getting in his face? You should have went down there with a bat. Shit.
You mentioned it earlier, the whole Janet Jackson thing. The girl who was like on the phone with Smokey talking about she looked like Janet Jackson, and he's all excited for this date to show up, and then she rolls up and she has on that like this braided hat wig at first, and then she a little bigger than Janet Jackson, and Smokey is not too pleased. And then she
The
kind of
thing
takes.
is, go ahead.
I was gonna say she's gonna take the hat off, and then that really sets him off.
She looked better without the wig to me.
Yeah, with the short
I
hair.
like her short hair. I really like her short hair. Um, the funny thing is, Smokey, what you gotta get hooked up with anybody for? Why don't you, baby? Your car don't stop when you put it into park. Your mama in the house smoking with you, giving you $1 for some cigarettes. Sound like she broke. Sound like you don't know how to sell your weed, and you can't handle your weed, or the angel dust that Hector is giving your ass. So you really out here down bad. You skinny as I don't know what. I don't see not one muscle. So you is not the one to be talking about somebody's damn body. Now, if you got a preference, you got a preference. But I'm just saying, like, I'm so tired of these niggas out here that don't lift not one weight, look out of shape as I don't know what, because if any of y'all was in shape, y'all would be trying to box with Debo. Something. And y'all making fun of this girl for her size when Craig mama is plump. Talking about she's a big one. She the same size as y'all.
True.
Child.
He just not Smokey not strong enough. He can't lift her up, so he's
So
intimidated.
stupid. Smokey said we could kick it, but I gotta go pick up my mom.
One thing I noticed was like, what I love is like the 90s fashion. All these crop tops,
And
braids, and bobs.
the 90s LA fashion too.
Yes.
It's very LA. Like
Everybody had on the crop top. I was like, okay now.
And the men with these
Oh, the little lumberjack. What do you
them
call them? The
flannel
flannel
shirts
shirts.
and them
Yes.
not the cargo pants, but the Dickies, like
Mm-hmm.
the shoes, like it was very, very LA. Very black LA for sure.
If you didn't have a bob, you had braids. I was like, okay now.
Child, the way everybody was getting braids, Joy
Mm-hmm.
had some braids.
Even
Craig's
Felicia
sister
got her
trying to get some
braids.
braids. Felicia got her little, she got her braids
Her
in.
plaits.
Her little, yeah.
I was like, if this is not the 90s right here. Would you classify this as like a bully revenge story?
I would classify this as a buddy comedy.
Buddy comedy.
And typically with buddy comedies, there is something that, I mean, Debo is the problem that they have to overcome. Like like what is the main, who's the villain? I would say it's not necessarily Big Worm.
It's more so Debo.
It's more so Debo, because it doesn't matter what they do with Debo, he's going to be violent with them. Big Worm just wanted his money. Like, you ain't really had to have no problems with Big Worm. Big
Mm-mm.
Worm said he'll sell this. You didn't sell it. You could have gave that man his money back. I'm surprised Big Worm wasn't like, hey, for wasting my motherfucking time, I'm instead of 200, nigga, it's 5.
Yeah.
Had that shit, oh, it's a problem. Like, Big Worm wasn't really worried about nobody. But Debo will always be there to be a problem.
Another memorable moment for me was Miss Parker's husband when
Yeah.
apparently Miss Parker. Oh wait, she was cheating
The pastor,
with the
Bernie Mac.
pastor. Yeah, and her husband came home. What's that actor's name?
I'm looking it up
The
right
little
now.
guy.
The little
And
guy, girl.
there's a
Not
little
the little
guy.
guy. Um,
And he had all her stuff on the front lawn.
and she ain't had too much. I was like, that's all her clothes?
All she got little short shorts and little crop tops. That's all she wear.
Tony Cox.
Okay.
Tony Cox is hilarious. Tony Cox is in Me, Myself, and Irene.
He was in everything.
Sleeping, having an affair with this man's wife. His kids are Tony's kids. Like, that shit is hilarious.
I kept hearing this. I did not know where this was from, but it's Friday. When Smokey's like, I got mind control over Debo, he'd be like, shut the fuck up, now be quiet. But when he leave, I'll be talking again.
Uh-huh.
I kept hearing that like for years. I'm like, where is that from? Where is that from? I'm like, of course it's Friday. He was like, I'll be quiet. But when he leave, I'll be talking again.
I remember that. I remember, and you know this, man. Like, I remember
Yeah.
that happening. I
You got
remember
knocked the F out.
you got knocked the F out. I remember that girl wider than all outside. I remember that. It wasn't until maybe 10 years ago that Bye Felicia was a thing.
Yes.
And yeah.
Bye, Felicia. Everybody saying bye, Felicia.
To the
Bye,
point where I was like,
Felicia.
where's that from?
Oh, I knew
It's
that
like,
was Friday.
it's from Friday. I was like, what? Who says that?
And he says it, Craig says it like just casually. It's like, it's funny how people pick up on that. But yeah, everybody's bye, Felicia. And then even the real Felicia came out and was like, why don't people just say hi, Felicia?
Dang.
Why everybody talking about bye, Felicia?
She is a serious vegan who has a restaurant.
Really?
And she is serious about animal rights and the health of the Black community. Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with another film and more opinions. Leave a review and tell us what you'd like for us to watch. And let's keep the convo going on Instagram. You can find us at Curry Gumbo. Be well. Happy watching. Love y'all. Bye.